What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my new channel. This is my very first posting. My name is Nick. I am a dog trainer in Austin, Texas. This is a dog trainer reacting to Reddit. Now, I've been in dog training for around 2 years now. Through that time, I've worked at dog care centers, training facilities, and most recently, animal shelters. To help break the ice, comment below on what your favorite dog breed is. Starting off with a really fun one. This one comes from Both Holiday. Are dog parks safe? This is an interesting one. I get this question a lot. This may sound dumb, but I've only grown up with a Cane Corso and Rotties, and we've always kept them more private as I grew up with dozens and dozens of acres. We let them roam and play. Wow. I'm a senior in college, and I adopted my first puppy when I'm home during the summer. She has lots of space. My apartment has walking trails and lakes and sidewalks / dog areas, but I have to keep her leashed and would like her to fully stretch her legs again. I just grew up fearful of dog interactions with mine. Not that ours were aggressive, but they are dogs at the end of the day, and I won't be able to get my 150-pound Mastiff off somebody else's dog. Lord forbid he snapped. Any insight would be great for my furry daughter. They are 4 months old. Well, I will say right off the bat that dog parks are definitely not for everybody, and definitely not for dogs who are dog reactive or won't be able to have any disengagement if a dog goes after them. Generally, it's like taking your kids to the park. I don't trust other people's kids. I don't trust other people's dogs. If I am going to a dog park, I want there to be a dog park monitor. I want there to be vaccination certifications, and I want to know that the dogs that are currently in that park aren't going to be aggressive. Me personally, I don't go to dog parks anymore. I used to socialize my German Shepherd before I knew what I was doing. Now, I would much rather avoid it. There are plenty of other ways to make sure your dog is enriched. You can do sniff games in your own home. You can have snuffle mats. You can have lick mats. To interact with other dogs, you can pair up with somebody else who you know has a safe dog. But yeah, for your new puppy, I would recommend socializing them with a social dog first. That way they can learn the rules. Growing up, they're not going to get any bad habits from any dogs at the dog park that don't know what they're doing. Let's see if I match the top comment. My vet was staunchly anti-dog park. Imagine. The only one she considered acceptable was one that required registration and proof of vaccination. It took me a few visits over a couple of years, but she was right. Dog parks weren't safe for my dogs, even though they were large and well-trained. Her argument is that you have no control over who is there with you. You can't control other people's dogs. You can only control yourself and how poorly trained their dog is or what diseases they carry. That's very true. I don't like dog parks personally, but there's plenty of other ways to socialize your dog. All right, we're going up next. This one comes from I'm Calm Right, titled Dog Tie Out Husky / Shepherd. No fence, so I'm wanting him to run around my backyard without me holding the leash while I garden. And he would be attended. Is there anything strong to maintain him around 65 pounds but strong? I was looking maybe at this. Basically a top knot dog tie out cable. Yes, tie downs are great. Big thing that you want to do is you always need to monitor your dogs. It's actually illegal in most places to keep your dog on a tie down without monitoring it. Make sure that you're always monitoring. Make sure that the dog isn't getting tangled up in that tie down, wrapping it around their neck or their paws to cut off circulation. A lot of bad things can happen with tie downs if they're not monitored. But when they're monitored, it's a great alternative to having an off-leash dog when you don't want the dog to actually have an off-leash or there's leash laws preventing you from doing so. Let's see if I match the top comment. It's rated up to 100 pounds, so it should work as long as it's anchored properly. Don't use that anchor that screws into the ground. With enough force, it will come out. Or as my old dog used to, pull it out with his teeth. We use a cable and tie it around our deck post. We buy ours at Menards because they have a heavy duty one that goes up to 150 to 120, that goes up to 125 to 150 pounds. My guy is currently around 105. Yep, tie downs are great. You just have to make sure you're using it properly, just like any other tool. This next one comes from Perilous Petri, and it's focused on animal shelters. Titled Leadership Change. I'm fairly new to shelter work, and I started at a private, nonprofit, limited intake shelter at the same time the C-suite leadership was gutted due to misconduct. Oh my gosh. What an unfortunate time to get into a shelter. New leadership was brought in, and over the last year, they have dismantled multiple departments and changed most policies. Departments and policies that were an integral part of our shelter program. This, like transfer protocol, disease mitigation, euthanasia protocol, where animals were housed, when and what animals are available for adoption, have all been changed before letting the staff know. In the last couple of months, there were dozens of employees that have put in notice or have been fired, including those that have been there for 5+ years. We were already on a skeleton crew, and now we are down even more people. They've done all this without transparency as to their intentions or a plan moving forward. Has anyone experienced this at their shelter? Is this typical for new shelter leadership, or are they intentionally bombing the shelter? Like, what could their end goal be? Is it incompetence or intentional? I may be jaded / cynical due to my own past experiences with C-suite changes in past jobs, but I personally think they are intentionally bombing the place so another organization can swoop in and buy us. Leadership changes in any business can be detrimental to the business if it is not done accurately and properly. There's actually a lot of things that go into a leadership change, which includes a changing of C-suite, a changing of policies and procedures, and a changing of how a business typically operates. However, at a shelter where dogs' lives depend on it, it's a lot more important to maintain continuity of care and make sure that your staff members know what the right steps to take are and what the guidelines are for their pets in general. For those reasons, I would say it's really an unfortunate time that you joined that place. As much as you want to see it succeed, it might be worth looking into a different career path or a change of venue. I tend to attribute things more to ignorance than maliciousness until proven otherwise. It's obvious that you are not comfortable with the way the leadership has been changing things. It might be better off for you to just move on. Let's see if I match the top comment. Top comment says, I've personally never experienced anything like this in shelter setting. That being said, I've seen this happen at places like zoos and wildlife sanctuaries. I'm also noticing a trend in animal care that it's always going to be understaffed, and the higher ups will cut staff to save on costs. Some do it thinking it's the best for the animals to get more improved items, and others do it out of greed. I hate that it's like this, and I hope it changes, but I doubt it will without massive continuous donations. Probably isn't going to change anytime soon. This next one is a trigger warning. It shows a pretty graphic bite, so trigger warning for you guys, bite warning. This one comes from Curly K989, and it says, our adopted pit bull attacked me yesterday, and I don't know what to do next. I'm gonna go ahead and show the picture, but that is a nasty bite. We would call that, there is actually a bite scale that we go off of. We would call this a level 5 bite, which is 1 out of 6, 6 being death, by the way. The post reads, hi everybody, I'm posting because I'm overwhelmed, confused, and trying to process something that happened yesterday. About a year ago, my partner and I adopted a 3-year-old pit bull. We were told he had a sweet temperament, and for the most part, that's been true. But there have been signs we ignored and didn't fully understand. From the beginning, he hasn't gotten along with my cat. He tends to hyper-focus on her. And while we've tried redirection and structured introductions, nothing has fully resolved it. We've just been managing the situation. Lots of separation and supervision. More recently, I've noticed that he seems extremely protective of my partner, to the point where he becomes visibly agitated when I'm sitting too close or showing affection. He'll watch me closely, stiffen up, or sometimes growl. I've brought this up multiple times, but my partner and I weren't on the same pages about how serious it was. Then yesterday, everything changed. We were setting up our new carpet in our home. My partner had just picked up the couch, and I was on all fours underneath it, trying to position the carpet properly. Suddenly, the dog lunged at me, and I had just enough time to raise my arm, which he bit hard. If I hadn't blocked him, he would have gotten my face. I ended up in the ER. I needed medical attention, and I've now been referred to a plastic surgeon due to the depth and location of the bite. It wasn't a warning nip or a freak out. It was targeted, fast, and intense. I wasn't yelling, moving erratically, or doing anything threatening. My partner believes it was a one-time incident and that the dog was confused or protective, and that we can work through it with behavioral training. He's also pointing out that the dog has been acting totally normal today as if nothing happened. but I'm left physically injured, emotionally wrecked, and terrified that it could happen again. Maybe even worse next time. I also can't stop thinking about my cat and how much danger she might be in too, even if she's just minding her own business. Has anybody been through something similar? Can a dog come back from something like this? Am I wrong for wanting to remove them from the home? Any insights or honest perspectives would help. I'm not trying to villainize him. He's still a living being, but I'm also human who nearly got her face bitten, and I'm completely lost. Wow. First of all, I am so sorry that happened, and I hope that you're okay. Second of all, when it comes to dog attacks, we measure on a lot of different factors on whether or not that dog should be a safe placement in the home. Based off of these circumstances, the fact that the bite was considered unprovoked. 2, there was no warning when the bite landed. You were on all fours. It's not like he growled or was baring his teeth or showing that he was about to attack. He just did it. 3, that bite was not inhibited. He sent you into the emergency room. He would have gotten your face if you didn't block it with your arm. For those reasons, I would definitely consult with a behaviorist right off the bat. Make sure they're certified. Make sure they know what they're talking about. Do your research on this behavior specialist. Based on the information here, I would say that that pit bull is not safe in your home, and you should start looking into different alternative options for placement, whether it be a sanctuary, a rescue, a rehabilitation. But in the meantime, I would highly recommend that that dog is not placed in your home next to you or your cat. It's not a matter of if it happens again, it's a matter of when. Let's see if I match the top comment. Top comment says, please, please, please keep your cat separated. You've already stated he attacked unprovoked and that he is fixated on your cat. This is not a safe dog. Please be careful, OP. A lot of people in the comment section are very worried about OP. We have not gotten an update on the situation as it's happened quite recently, but we will be saving this post and following up in the next video. Going to our final story. Guys, quick reminder, make sure to like the post. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. This is a brand new channel, so I'm growing it from ground zero. Any support is appreciated if you have any love for me. This next one is a video from Normal Fuel 5604, and it's asking, do these actually work? Let's see what he's talking about. Oh, okay. I figured it was one of the two. Honestly, beautiful. I love Pet Corrector. I have a couple of my own. It's literally just condensed air that you spray it at a dog. It's a great deterrent for an off-leash dog coming over to your dog with some bad intentions. All you do is spray it down. It's just like dusting off your keyboard. Condensed air comes out and it scares that dog away. The only thing I would say against Pet Corrector is that it's very easily confused for like pepper spray or pepper foam. Make sure that your intentions are clear, that you're throwing out that condensed air, and if anybody is asking you about it, say it's condensed air, it's Pet Corrector. But yeah, very easily can be misconstrued, but an amazing, and honestly, I consider an essential tool on my belt whenever I'm walking my dogs. You never know what's gonna come up and try and cause your dogs harm. Keep yourself safe, keep your dog safe. Pet Corrector or condensed air is a great, great tool, and you can find it all over the internet. This was my Reddit Reacts music video. This was my Dog Trainer Reacts to Reddit. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you guys haven't already, and we will be posting videos like this week. We really appreciate any fans and any feedback you guys might have for me, so leave them in the comments below. Appreciate you all, and make sure you guys give your puppies consent pets for me. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.